More honest than I should be. They know all the things.
Hi, I'm Carol Podell, and this is She Takes the Lead.
Hi, party people. It's Carol. I haven't been on here in a while, and it's a little frustrating because I love coming on here and I love talking to you guys, and it's always such an honor. And I have been sick and I had stuff going on, and it's really the workflow has been a little tough for me, but I'm pushing through it. I'm practicing what I'm preaching, so I'm coming on here. I've been doing a lot of exciting things, and I have a lot of cool things coming up for the new year. I'm working on a program and workshop and a whole bunch of things that I'm really excited about with the podcast and some offshoots and motivational speaking. And I'm really, really excited about all of it. And I've been doing some interviews and I've been talking to some different people while I've been doing it. And I wrote an article for Women Thrive magazine, and it was on female friendships. It was the power of female friendships, which I really believe are so strong. Because ultimately, the article was about my experience of being a woman who actually had wonderful female friends, and then when I got divorced, when I really hit my bottom, realizing how much I was holding close to the vest and not sharing with them, and that the only person it was harming was me by doing that. So that's sort of what the article is about. You should check it out, though. It's a good article and it's a good magazine, Women Thrive magazine. It's the September issue. I will put it in the show notes. But I've been talking a lot about this, and I talk a lot about this. And what I wanted to talk about is, I've been asked a couple of times, like, what's the most important thing when you're trying to make a big change in your life, when you're trying to really go to that next step, whatever that is, whether that's professionally and you want to change careers, or personally, and I don't know, you're going back into the workforce maybe, or you have a new venture, like a personal thing that you want to really achieve now. The kids are in school or what have you. It doesn't really matter the thing that's about you. It's really like the structure of what you need to really get there. And the first answer I give is my tribe. I keep getting asked this question: what is it that helped you the most? What is it that helps you the most? And I say my tribe. And it's kind of a shitty answer, not because it's a shitty answer. Of course, it's a wonderful answer, but it's not actually a helpful answer to you. That I'm saying my tribe, because it's like, well, okay, what does that mean? So I actually wanted to explain what that means a little bit for me. I consider my tribe in three buckets. Don't tell them they're buckets. Don't tell them that my people are in buckets. But I have my kind of positive truth tellers. And they're the people that I go to if I have something that's like, I have an idea of something that I want to try that's new, that I'm not even confident or comfortable saying out loud, but I know they're safe for me to say it and that they will support me. But I also know that they will be honest with me about my perspective on it, or the reality of actually doing it, not just rah, rah, you go. So I'm going to give you an example. When I was starting this podcast, I reached out to a friend of mine saying, hey, you know what? I want to have a podcast. I want to do a podcast. And I was in the middle of so much. I think my mom had been in the hospital, and there was other health problems. There was a lot going on in the house, in the family, in my life. My work was really, really busy, and I was really overloaded, but I was also really not doing anything that was significant. I felt was significant enough for me. And so her first response when I said I want to start a podcast wasn't, oh my God, that's amazing. It was, have you listened to podcasts? Because we don't really talk about podcasts to any great degree. That's not really just what we talk about. And it made me giggle a little. And I was like, yes, of course I listen to podcasts. And but the reason why you want that friend, that person in your bucket, is because you want that person who's going to challenge the idea just enough for you to think it through properly. Like just enough for you to say, okay, because if I had responded, no, I've never listened to podcasts, or "Oh, okay, I listened to them a little bit," probably that friend would have said, okay, Carol, why don't maybe listen to some podcasts and sort of see what it entails, see what it entails a little bit before you go forward and do this deep jump. Um, and then she said, "Ra, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. That's so cool." So you need those like positive truth tellers who are going to like be honest with you. They're going to be super positive and really have your back and be excited, but um, they're going to tell you the truth too. Then the second one is you need your like minded people. So your like minded people are not necessarily your positive truth tellers. Your like minded people are people who are like minded, who, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to like bat through everything, you can call them and say, all right, I'm in it, and I just need to talk something through. Or one of your like-minded people is, um, I'm working through a technical issue and I'm frustrated. If I move the A wire will to the B wire, will the B wire get messed up? That's a like-minded person. A like-minded person can also just be someone who's kind of on your same page about what you're wanting to do to change. So if you're looking to build a business, or looking to change your career, there you go, looking to change your career, a like-minded person could be someone who is also looking to change their career. It could be someone who's in the middle of changing their career, or it could be someone who has done something similar in another area of their life. So it could be someone who went from, like me, really, who went from being married and not, and being told not that, well, being told that my partner didn't want a baby, and for me to move forward, I had a decision to make. But the transition, once that happened, was my entire life changed because I knew I wanted a baby. And the transition between that, there were a lot of pieces that are very similar to looking for a new job. I mean, looking for a new boyfriend is I know that sounds a little bit off center, but it's not totally off. You can relate things that are not necessarily topically relatable, and that's really what those like-minded people signify. And they don't have to be friends. You don't have to be like buddies. Also, they can just be like-minded in entrepreneurship. You're both like trying to create a six-figure business that you can do from your home. I mean, everybody's trying to pick that, but it's that kind of person. And they don't have to be a friend. They don't have to be a mentor. That's not who this group of people is. They're like-minded individuals. You can find them on LinkedIn. They can be resources that you met through Facebook, a friend of a friend that you connect with, anything. But those like-minded people are very helpful. And then the third bucket is you need your workshops and your resources. It's partially why I'm putting together these other programs, frankly, because I think that these are helpful, and my experience over time of making these big changes. People ask me about it. They ask me what I did and how I changed my career. I mean, I had an executive producer from ABC News literally call me. He was far more senior than me, asking me how I changed my career. And we talked about it because he was considering it. So, you don't really know what anybody's doing or going through. So I'm putting together this program to kind of help, but which will be on my website. You can check it on my website. But the resources that you need to make a change are different. They may be different than the regular resources that you use. Like I was in television and I had a whole library. I mean, now it's all on my Kindle, but I had a whole library of theater books, books on television, books on the history of filmmaking, books on the history of acting, everything. I had all of these books, and then as I started transitioning my life, frankly, into a different chapter, and I'm in a New York City apartment, so I can't actually fit all of those books in my house. As I add other books from other industries, so I started reading more books that were in the world of financial services. So I understood the business and it started to interest me. So I started, stacking up these other books that were more like financial books or books around the business of finance, or really business books is what they were. So, but you need those resources, and you kind of need those resources at the ready. Now, fortunately, we have Google, so we can do that. But you also want to use those resources strategically. You want to go to the excuse me. You want to go and seek out a class, maybe, or maybe a mentor. And like I said, the like-minded people that you're looking for in your second bucket are not the mentors. The mentors should be in the third bucket of resources, because mentors can be so many different people. Mentors are people who you've met along the way who have taught you things. Mentors are people that you hire that know more than you do, who you are paying them money so that they can teach you what they know. And mentors are sometimes friends. And sometimes those mentors, their other parts of their lives are not anything that you want, but they have this thing, they have this one thing. And the reason why they're so important is because they start to get you aligned realistically with where you want to go. They're in that world. So they know they're seeing the day to day. So even if they're just talking about their own world, you're hearing what that sounds like. It's almost like growing up at the kitchen table of a family business, and you understand the family business because you're just sitting at the kitchen table. Similarly with mentors, with building those things, and then also you can talk to them and you can say, um, I'm looking to do X, or I'm not sure where I want to be in X, but I'm looking to do Y. And they can help guide you. And, you get the right mentors, and it makes a big difference. And then also, by the way, once you're in the role, the job, the situation, the relationship, the move, the whatever, you can then they also are a resource as you come up with things that you will, as you come up with hurdles that you inevitably will come up with in life, really. And you have somebody you can talk to on potentially how to fix it or address it, or turn it into something different. And that's also quite important. And you've now developed that relationship. And if you do this like this, over time, you find that you have these different people in different areas of your life that you have actual relationships with. Like, I'm not saying you should use everybody in these situations. No, everybody's getting something out of it, obviously, and if it's not a connection, it's not a connection. If this person has what you want, but you're not feeling it and you're not wanting to get too close, then maybe that's the right response. Some of the people that I have built in these buckets have been very dear friends, and some have been exactly what I said they were. Whether that I've hired them, I've become very good friends with people that I started out hiring, and I've also become very good friends with people who have mentored me. I've become very good friends with people who I have mentored. And I've also not been friends with plenty of like-minded people in my life that I had a time and place where I was learning and growing, and they were learning and growing, that really worked out. And we vibed at that moment while we were doing that thing. And that's what we had in common. And that's how we, moved. And then we went on to something else. And you will know when you meet those people, you will. It's really about authentic. This is really about authentic connections. Like, this is when you're being honest with what you want, you're clear on what you want, you've started to strategize how you want to get it and where you want to go. And part of doing that, the preparation for that is talking to some of the people in your like-minded group, and the afterwards, where you're trying things out and maybe shifting and moving a little bit down the path a little bit differently than you were expecting, and onward. So when I said tribe, that's what I meant. That also is like my besties, like my girls, like my boys, like the ones that I've just known for years, and we have a shorthand, and I trust them and they trust me, and they're a safe space. And I recommend those too. And my best advice on that, and go read the article, and it doesn't just have to be women friends. That article, it was um, specifically about women, and the magazine is for women, but it's men as well. Like, the relationships that you have, the deep relationships that you have with your people all around your life, mine at least, are completely ingrained in the fact that I have been probably even more honest than I should be. Like, they know all the things. I'm not saying every single friend of mine knows every single thing, but they know mostly. Like, there's a few that know all the things, like every single thing. And it kind of set me free when that happened, when everything just dropped out of the bottom, and life, I could not hide that I was not perfect, nor living a perfect life, nor happy, nor not humiliated or ashamed or any of those things. When I was just bare, is when everything really changed in that way for me. And I was actually really able to move forward and then make significant change in my own life, which is really, what this is about, is being able to live your life truthfully and to the best of your ability, to be happy, and to be fulfilled and to bring something to the table. Oh, that's actually one more thing. In any of these relationships, I do everything, and it's conscious sometimes, in all my relationships, is I do as much as I can to bring myself to the table also. Like, I try to be of service to my friends, to my mentors, to different resources. Like, I offer what I know, because that's also part of it. Like, as I've learned and grown and had the very much blessing of the opportunity to have all of these relationships, like, I want to give it away too. Like, I want to help people find it. I want others to know how to do it. And I mean, honestly, and it's very fulfilling, but it's really, if you're coming from a point of service, when you're coming from a point of like, what can I do in this place? What can I do to help this person? What can I do? That creates an understanding, or it creates it's not just that you have skin in the game. I'm talking about to like someone who's a stranger, that then you're just, you're trying to meet for the first time. But trying to figure out your relative place in the universe of that universe is it's powerful, because it can make you feel small and realize how little you know. It can make you feel bigger than you felt, because you realize, what, I actually may know more than I think I know. And it can also be very clarifying around if that's actually where you want to be. Hey,
Hey, thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, please hit subscribe. You can also find me at carolpodell.com, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Carol Podell. You can watch this at She Takes the Lead podcast on YouTube. If you'd like to keep in touch, go to my website. I've got a few things I'd love to send you. In the meantime, mwah!